Hey everyone, I'm going to review the Brazil pack on eFootball. This is the last of the 6 national team packs. I've reviewed all the other 5 already, so those reviews are live on the channel if you want to check them out. As always, I'll put timestamps in the description for each player, so if there's a particular player you want to hear about, click the description and there'll be a link to take you straight to them. As I said with all these packs, it's not about how good the pack is in itself, it's about how much value you're going to get from it. That depends what players you've got. Do you have a good version of all these players already? Do you have other good players in these positions? Are you going to get much use out of them? Does the manager suit your play styles? Only you can really answer that question for yourself. So hopefully this video will help you to make your decision. So let's start by having a look at our manager. And our manager is Dorival Júnior, also known as Henriques for some reason. So we've got one of these managers who's got 2 play styles. So some of the managers in these packs have got one play style 88, which gets you the maximum boost, and the others have 2 play styles where you don't quite get the maximum boost, but you're not far off, but you've got that benefit of being able to switch between the 2. And the 2 you get to switch between are quick counter and long ball. That's a strange combination. So yeah, if you've always wanted the manager who would allow you to switch between quick counter and long ball, it's your lucky day. I'm not sure many people in the play base are really looking for that though. If you're farming, his affinity gives you 400% on forwards, so that's good. The boost in all your players in your squad, +1 on kicking power. So there you go. It's pretty straightforward with his managers. It just comes down to whether they suit your play styles. A lot of people like to use quick counter, so you might be an upgrade on your quick counter manager unless you've already got Xabi Alonso. Or like I say, if you really want to combine, or not combine, but if you want to be able to switch between quick counter and long ball, then great. But I'm not sure many people would. But yeah, if you do, you're in luck. But there's your manager. And now on to our players, and we start with our goalkeeper. We've got Bento. So we have had a previous version of Bento, and Player of the Week that was as good as this guy. If you got that one, same overall rating, but the stats are a bit different, and it comes back to the jumping on goalkeepers and Player of the Week. I'm not going to have the rant again, although it is absolutely ridiculous, and I wish they would stop doing it. But the Player of the Week version of this guy had much worse jumping, but better goalkeeping attributes. So even though the overall rank was about the same, the Player of the Week one, in my opinion, is better because he's better at goalkeeping, and let's be honest, that's what a goalkeeper is for, right? But yeah, this guy, looking at it in isolation, it's a solid keeper, but nothing amazing. If we had that game plan boost, see, nothing gets to 90, but we've got the awareness, reflexes, and reach all getting up to the high 80s. Catching's pretty good at 86. Parrying at 81 is not brilliant. Yeah, it's not amazing. As always, that jumping is a bit dodgy on eFootball Hub. If you go down and up again, you see what fixes it. So he actually ends up on 85. Yeah, he's a solid keeper. He's got unwavering form. But he's just nothing special, to be honest. For a goalkeeper in a paid pack, I'd like 1 or 2 of these attributes to hit 90 maybe, but yeah, it's just none of one of these keepers where... Is it a bad keeper? Absolutely not. He's a solid keeper. He'll do you a job, but is it anything to get excited about? No, not for me. In a paid pack, I would like him to be a little bit better. So not a bad keeper, but just nothing special, really. On to the outfield players now. So we'll start with our centre-backs, and we'll start with a very good one. We've got Marquinhos. So there's been a Showtime version of Marquinhos that was the best version we've had of him. But outside of that one, this is basically the joint best alongside the previous nominating contract one. So that nominating contract one, that was, I think, over a year ago now, because I had that and the contract ran out. This is about the same. There are some slight differences, certainly on auto allocation. This one's got slightly less defensive awareness, but slightly more aggression. And this one's got a little bit more acceleration, physical contact, and balance. But when you train them up and you start shuffling the points down, they're very, very similar. So not a lot of difference. It's pretty much on a par with that nominating contract one. And like I say, outside of the Showtime one that they released, this is about pretty much the best one that we've had. So it's a good version of Marquinhos. We'll hit that game plan boost. As you can see, he's brilliant. He's got some great defensive attributes. The pace is decent. Great jumping. He is only 6 foot though, so he needs that jumping to be great. Physical contact 86, fully boosted. For me, that's the one concern I have with Marquinhos. He's always a little bit low in physical contact, in my opinion. So I'd like to get that a bit higher if we could. But as you can see, with all these attributes, and a load of these down the left, the technicals into the 70s as well. He's a really, really good centre back. He really is. As you can see from the chart here, it's saying he's going to come out about 100 rated as a centre back. It's not lying. Great centre back card. Looking at his skills. As always with eFootball Hub at the moment, they are having some issues with the skills. He does not have 3 passing, but he has the rest. He's got weighted pass and low lofted pass, which are nice bonuses to have on a centre-back. He's already got nice passing attributes, but he's got heading and aerial superiority, and then he's got the man marking, interception, acrobatic clearance, captaincy, fighting spirit, blocker. He's got all the skills he needs for a centre-back, really. It's a great card. He's got unwavering form as well. Would I shuffle the points around? Personally, yeah, I probably would. I'll take a couple off the defending because I would like to get that physical contact up a bit, but I'd like to get that speed up a bit. It's nice to get that speed up to 80 on a centre-back. There are a lot of people who don't mind that, who don't mind a centre-back being slow. It's entirely what suits you. I would do that. What else would I do? I would be tempted to maybe even take 4 off dexterity, put them on dribbling. Get all these 70 plus. You could do that. So a bit more pace and a bit better technically. Quite tempted to do that. Or take them back from dribbling. And if you're not too bothered about the pace on him, you could get 3 more on his aerial, and then you've got 2 points left. Stick him on dexterity. You could do that. Physical contact up to 90. Now that's actually tempting. That's really tempting. To be honest, as much as I like a bit of pace on a centre-back, I would probably do that on this guy. I don't think I've seen a Marquinhos. I guess the showtime probably. I didn't really look at that in any detail because I didn't spin for it, but I'm not sure many previous versions of Marquinhos could go up to 90 on physical contact and still be 90 plus in all of these. That looks really nice. I would probably train him like that because I often say this physical contact on a centre-back. I think some people don't really consider it that important. I think it's really important. And then that jumping as well goes up to 98 as well. He's only 6 foot. He does have aerial superiority, but that jumping, it's going to make him good in the air. So yeah, whichever way you tweak the way the points are allocated, we're not doing anything major either way, but getting his physical contact up to 90, I would recommend that personally. But yeah, whatever you do with this guy, it's a brilliant centre-back card. I think we're probably already looking at the best card in the pack, to be honest. So our other centre-back, we got Gabriel from Arsenal. There's only been one version of this guy that was better, and that was the one in an Arsenal pack that went 1 or 2 higher. There was a Player of the Week version of him that was about the same overall rating. I think on that Player of the Week one, the defensive engagement and aggression were a bit lower, but the passing was a bit higher, and it had a few extra skills as well. In terms of the skills for this guy, the skills are correct here. As you can see, he is lacking a few, but he's got some of the most important ones. So heading and aerial superiority, obviously he's sorted in the air. And then man marking, interception, 2 very important ones in the centre-back. But you'd probably want to put blocker on him. Maybe his acrobatic clearance and sliding tackle as well. So he's got some of the most important skills, but he probably needs 1 or 2 extra ones on top. In terms of his attributes, we'll go to that game plan boost. As you can see, got great defensive attributes there. The pace is all right. Physical is great at 93, jumping at 80. So he's about 6'3". He's got aerial superiority, jumping on the 80. So he's not going to be completely dominant in the air. He'll be good in the air, but jumping on the 80 is a little bit frustrating. But he's a tall guy and he does have the physical contact and aerial superiority, so he'll be good in the air. Nice to have the low and lofted pass, both 70 plus. Would I shuffle the points around? Probably. I'd like a bit more acceleration on him, first and foremost. It'd be nice if we can spare 1 point to get his ball control up to 70 as well. It'd be nice. If we nick a... Well, I mean, you could take a bunch off there. I don't know how many you'd need. Let's just put 4 on there. We'll sneak 1 onto dribbling. We've got 7 left. 1 on there. 1 back on there. I'd maybe just something along those lines. Still keeping 90 plus in all these. We'll snuck another 1 onto jump in there. Bit more pace on him. Ball control up to 70. I wouldn't do too much on him. Like I say, it's nice to get that acceleration up to 70. It just depends on how bothered you are about that. I mean, if you're not too bothered about the acceleration, you could even take those points back there. You could possibly go do that, really beef up his jumping a bit, make him more dominant in the air. Or if you're not so bothered about the aerial situation, just pile in on defending. That's pretty much your auto allocation, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, I wouldn't do anything too major there. Like I say, I would like to get that acceleration up a bit. Nice to get that ball control up to 70, but either way, it's a pretty solid centre-back. I don't think it's an amazing one. He does need 1 or 2 extra skills. He doesn't have unwavering form, but yeah, I think for Arsenal fans, these cards do have club affiliation now. I've mentioned that a few times. So for Arsenal fans, he will be eligible when we get the league change. If you want to put him in your Arsenal squad, it's a good version of him. Only the Arsenal pack one's been better. But yeah, it's a pretty solid centre-back, to be honest. I think it's a good card. He needs 1 or 2 skills, but if you put 1 or 2 skills on him, yeah, I think you've got another good centre-back in your hands. Now on to our fullbacks. So we'll start with Emerson from Spurs. So one previous version of this guy is in one of those pay-to-win legend boxes, and I think it went to 1 higher than this one. So there has been a slightly better one, but that was the only other version I think we've had of this guy. So we've not had a lot in terms of special versions of Emerson. Start with the skills down here. He does not have through passing. Instead of that, he actually has scissors feint. So yeah, he's got man marking, interception, important ones in the fullback, fighting experience, sliding tackle, nice ones to have as well. It would be nice if he had pinpoint crossing. I think that's the one he's lacking. He's an attacking fullback. I'm pretty sure at one point he was a defensive fullback, but yeah, he's definitely an attacking wingback now. So pinpoint crossing would be nice if he had that. I'd maybe put that on him if I picked this guy up and if I was going to use him regularly. But if we hit that boost, see how good he is. As you can see, like they always do with fullbacks, they always put a lot of emphasis on the pace of a fullback, and that does make sense. But I always say I personally don't think you need that much speed. I aim for about 90 or so, and then if I can scrimp a few points from there and keep the speed at 90 or so, I like to beef up a few other attributes. But he does look pretty solid, to be honest. We've already got 3 of the defensives over 80. Over here on the left, I would like a bit more on the ball, make him a bit more comfortable in possession. So if I do what I always do, I mean the physical as well, he doesn't need all that physical. We'll just take a bit off his speed first. We'll just go down to 8 on lower body. And if we just put 2 on there, so we get his ball control and dribbling past the 80 mark, so that's nice. I would put 2 on his passing actually, especially if he doesn't have pinpoint crossing. Low pass at 85 is really nice in the fullback actually, but we get that lofted up to 80 if he's going to be getting forward and putting crosses in. 4 points left. I'm not sure what I'd do there. With 4 left, I'd say there's 2 things I would do here. I would either go 2 more on dribbling, make him more comfortable on the ball, or I would take away those 4 from aerial. I don't know if he would want to do that, because it's nice to have his jumping up to 80s. He's about 5'11", jumping over 80. He's going to be decent in the air for a fullback, but if it's me doing it, take this fullback. You've now got 8 points to spare. You could go 2 extra on one of these. I'd maybe stick on dexterity, get his acceleration up to 90 as well. And those last 2, I'll just stick the last 2 back on aerial. I think that would be my build on this guy. So he's still got really nice pace, got the acceleration up. Physical's decent for a fullback. Like I say, in the air for a fullback, he'll be pretty decent. Balance is good enough at 81. Stamina's good 90. It's a shame his defensive awareness doesn't go up to 80 like the rest, but the rest do go over 80, which is good. On the ball and with his passing now, he's more comfortable. That attacking awareness 79. He's gonna get forward quite a bit. I'm actually not that comfortable having an attacking awareness that high on a fullback because they do tend to get high up the pitch and sometimes they can be caught out of position. So that might be something to keep in mind. But yeah, if you like that, great. He can play right midfield. If you're going to use him right midfield, if you use wing backs, he could be pretty nice as a wing back. I would say again, pinpoint crossing would be a must. You might want to put things like one touch pass, 3 passing on him as well if you were going to use him as a wing back. But as a wing back, if you took a few more points away from defending, you could get away with that. I mean, even just 1 and take a couple off aerial, 4 more points. Stick him on the dribbling. He could be a pretty usable wing back. And I'm talking proper wing backs. I don't just mean when people play a formation with wing backs and then just stick players like Mbappe and Neymar as wide midfielders just because they've got that position on the position chart. I mean actual wing backs, like real life wing backs. He could be a really solid one. He's got the pace, he's got the engine on him, some defensive ability, he's got a bit of ability on the ball. Could be pretty decent there as well. So yeah, whether he's a wing back or a fullback for you, I don't think he's a kind of elite level one by any means. I think primarily because the awareness doesn't quite get to the 80 mark, but outside of that, he's got a lot of qualities. I'll put pinpoint cross on him, but if you put pinpoint crossing on him as an attacking fullback, could be a pretty decent option. And our other fullback is also a decent option. So we've got Renan Lodi. One downside with this guy, he's now playing in Saudi, so he's not going to get any live update. That's a big shame. He's only got standard form as well. You never know if he might join a team in Europe or go back to Brazil or something, in which case he would get live update. But for now, he is obviously playing in Saudi, so he won't be getting ALB form anytime soon. It's a big shame because I think it's a decent card. We've had a few feature versions of him previously, and they've all gone up to 93. So he's pretty much on a par with the previous versions, but I think it's only the most recent featured one has had a couple of skills added because he didn't used to have interception and accurate clearance. I think that was maybe sometime in the last 6 months they updated him, gave him those 2 skills. So only the previous featured version and this one, as far as I remember, have these skills, and they're really important additions. Interception, very important on a fullback. He's got pinpoint crossing going forward. He's also got soul control, which is nice. A couple of skill moves for the dribblers. And if we hit that game plan boost, see how good he gets, he's pretty solid. Again, they've gone heavy on the pace. I would like a bit more on the defending there. I think he's okay down the left. I don't think a lot needs doing with him, really. If we did think a few points on the pace, I know not everyone agrees with that, but this is just what I'd do. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but You can then stick a couple on defending. In fact, you know what? You can go all the way out there, 80 plus in all the defending attributes. Let's do that. That's what I'd do. Still got good pace, good balance of physicals, decent enough for a fullback. Stamina's good. Defensive, all 80 plus. On the ball, all 80 plus. Low pass, the only attribute really out of all his attributes that's a bit of a concern, only 77. So just be careful with his low pass. Lofty pass, 82. He's got pinpoint crossing. He's good on the ball, he can cross. He's got interception, acrobat clearance is a nice bonus. If you're going to get him and use him regularly, I'd probably put man marking on him and maybe blocker. But yeah, I think to be honest, not many people would use this guy regularly because he's not getting live update and he's only got standard form. So that's a bit of a shame. That kind of kills the card a bit. But in terms of the attributes, like I say, Emerson was pretty usable. And I think this guy's very usable as well. He's got pretty much everything you need on an attacking fullback. I think it's a pretty neat card, to be honest. And before I forget, which I almost did there, you can also play him as a wingback, like with Emerson. So if you scrimped a few points off defending because he's not as important, maybe just leave the tackling at the 80 mark. Take the aerial off. How much better can we make him? We'll get the low pass up to 80. Yeah, something like that. If you use him as a wingback, make him a bit better going forward, a bit better on the ball, take a bit away from his defending, but still got the pace, the stamina. But as a wingback, very nice. If you use him as an out-and-out winger, in fact, because with this guy, he does have some pretty nice ability going forward. How good can we make him? Almost got his acceleration up to 90. Can we do that? Yeah, we can. Boom. As an out-and-out left winger, sort of old-school left winger, left foot on the left, whipping crosses in, tidy on the ball. Yeah, could be an option. Pace, stamina, decent on the ball, deadly cross, 90 lofted pass, bit of curl on him, kicking power. Could use him as an old school left winger as well, but yeah, left wing back, left back. Live update is a bit of a killer really, but in terms of the attributes, he's certainly pretty neat, and there's 1 or 2 ways you could train him as well. So yeah, it's a pretty neat card, to be honest. Now onto the midfield, and we start with André. We've got a defensive midfielder, orchestrator. You can play defensive mid or centre mid. Play style will be active in both those positions. We've had one previous feature version of André. I'm not sure what pack that was from. I don't recognise the design of the card, but it went to the same overall rating. This one has a bit more low pass, a bit less physical contact and balance, but they're overall pretty much the same. Nothing really jumps out with this guy's attributes. He doesn't look like he's anything amazing, but he's pretty solid. He's pretty well built to play as an orchestrator. If we hit that game plan boost, as you see, he's got some very decent attributes. He's good on the ball. He's got pretty good passing. Defensively, he's fairly strong. Over on the right, he's not the quickest. Physical contact is not too high, but it's decent enough. He's very much built as you'd expect for a deep line playmaker, that type of player. Decent balance, very nice stamina. That attacking awareness isn't great. I feel like looking at the attributes, he's better suited to playing as a DMF orchestrator rather than CMF. Because that attacking awareness, he's not going to be doing a lot getting forward, but certainly he's got some technical ability though. No finishing either though, so yeah, he does look like he's built to be playing quite deep. We'll have a look at the skills. These skills are correct. Those are the skills he's got in game. No errors this time. So yeah, cut behind. Then he's got soul control, which is nice. Through passing, weighted pass, low lofted pass, fighting spirit. So in terms of the attributes, looks like he's best suited to playing quite deep. But in terms of the skills, you'd need 1 or 2 defensive skills to really complete him as that type of a player. Interception, I think, was an absolute must on this type of player. Maybe his man marking, maybe his blocker. I think 1-touch pass will be pretty important as well. I think the 2 first skills, you need 1-touch pass and interception. I think most people would agree on that. So yeah, 1 or 2 skills are lacking on this guy, but the attributes are decent. Would you shuffle any of the points around? I don't know. Where would you get the points from? They put nothing on dexterity. That's interesting. They've not put much on the passing and dribbling, so I wouldn't want to scrimp on either of those. The defending, I don't want to go below that 90 mark for tackling because that's great. Lower body is not the quickest. Aerial, would you want to take away from there? And 76 isn't that high if he's playing quite deep in the midfield. I'm not sure I'd do anything with the way he's built, to be honest. I think I'd probably just leave him on auto allocation. Normally I like to fiddle around, but yeah, for once I think I would just leave it. I think he's a pretty solid player, either as a CMF or a DMF. I think in terms of the attributes, he's better suited to playing as a DMF. Because he can't shoot to save his life, his attacking awareness is low, and he's fairly strong defensively with the attributes, but yeah, it just comes down to those skills for me. I think you really need to put 1 or 2 defensive skills on there, 1-touch pass as well, but if you gave him 1-touch pass and interception, as a DMF orchestrator, kind of deep line playmaker, he could be a pretty effective card. He's not an amazing one. He doesn't really excite me too much, but I think he's pretty solid. It just comes down to the skills. You give him 1 or 2 skills, you could have a pretty decent card in your hands. Speaking of deep line playmakers, now we're talking. I'll try not to be biased as a Newcastle fan, but obviously I love Bruno. This is a good version of him. We've had one version of him that came in one of those pay-to-win legend boxes. That was a bit better, but outside of that, this is pretty much on a par with the better ones that we've had. Again, orchestrated playing style, DMF or CMF, can do both those roles. And again, as you see here, technically he's got some fairly decent attributes. Defensively, he's pretty strong as well. And then, bit of a lack of pace, but physical contact a bit higher than André. Balance is over 80 already, stamina at 90. This is before the game plan boost. He's got unwavering form as well. In terms of the skills, he also has through passing. So these skills are correct on eFootball Hub, but through passing, he also has that in game. So Marseille turn, sombrero, he's got soul control, which is nice. Heel trick's a nice one as well. And then he's got through passing, he's got weighted pass, low lofted pass. Outside curl's a nice one. One touch pass, he almost always lacks that. He's had 1 or 2 player of the week cards where they gave him 1 touch pass, but this one doesn't have it. So again, if you're going to get this guy and use him regularly when it comes to the skills, 1 or 2 needed, and 1 touch pass will be the first one. But like with Andre, you also need interception. It's a really important one on a midfielder. So interception and 1 touch pass, the first 2 skills I put on him. But outside of the skills, he's very nice, and we've not even hit the boost yet. So you hit that boost, as you see. Got loads of really nice attributes here. I would take a couple off defending. I mean, in fact, if you were going to use him as a DMF, if you wanted him to be a real defensive midfielder and be defensively solid, you could nick a couple off lower body. Nick 1 off there. What does that give us? 5 points. Can we get his defensive points up to 90? Oh, we need to nick 3 more points from Mercer. In fact, I don't think I'd do that. I don't think it was worth doing that. Yeah, let's just do an all-round build as a deep line playmaker. We'll forget the idea. Take a couple more defending there. Leave the defensive engagement at 90 for now. Get that low pass up to 90. What else we do? It's not a great deal you need to do. I'd like him a bit better on the ball, actually. There we go. We'll get the ball control and type session on tonight. We've got 6 points left still. What are we going to do? Stick 3 on his physical. We get it back up to 80. And then we still got 3 points. Where are they going? Stick on shooting. Why not? Yeah. That's a nice build, actually. As a deep line playmaker, he's still strong defensively. Got some nice defensive attributes. Got a bunch of 90s over here, though. On the ball and with his passing, really nice. Got the finishing up to 70. He's not the quickest. He never is. But kicking power at least gets to 80. Physical and balance, both 80 plus. Stamina over 90. It's a really nice card, as you'd expect. And like I say, I'm trying not to be biased as a Newcastle fan, but I think most people would agree looking at this card. It's really, really nice. As a centre mid or DMF, like I say, 1 or 2 skills are really needed on this guy. If you want to make the most of him, 1 touch pass and interception, those are the 2 skills you need to start with. If you gave him those 2 skills with all these attributes, either as a CMF or DMF, with the orchestrated playing style, playing as a deep line playmaker, this is a really, really, really nice card. I did say Marquinhos is the best card in the pack, but I think this is pretty much on the par with it. I think Marquinhos and this Bruno card, 2 really, really good cards. And speaking of good cards, I'm not being even slightly biased when I say this is the greatest footballer ever to grace the earth, Joelinton. Yeah, it's a pretty decent card. What you've got with this guy, you've got a load of different positions you can use him in. And that's your question, is which position you're going to put him in, how you're going to train him. And it's quite a question. He's got a box-to-box playing style. That will be active at centre midfield and left midfield. He's right-footed. I'm not sure how well suited he is to left midfield, but he can do it. If we look at the skills, these are the skills he's got, but he also has long-range curler. So it's an interesting set of skills, and it doesn't help us in deciding where to use him, to be honest, unless you really see him as a forward, because he's got first-time shot, he's got aerial superiority, then he's got track back, interception, sliding tackle. Depending where you use him, he's going to need 1 or 2 skills. It just depends where you use him. If you're going to use him as a striker, with that, bearing in mind he's got first-time shot and aerial superiority, he's quite physically strong, decent in the air. I think heading and maybe his acrobatic finishing. If you're going to use him in any midfield position, I think 1 touch pass and through passing. Yeah, I think that's probably what it comes down to. As a midfielder, 1 touch pass and through passing are needed. As a forward, depending on how you use him, you might want to give him heading and acrobatic finishing. we'll start with giving a kind of centre mid build, because that's what he's down as in the box to box. So let's go to that game plan boost straight away. This is what we're working with. So it's a really interesting defensive stats there. So the awareness is really low, the aggression is really high, good engagement, dodgy tackling. Yeah, I've got a version of Joelinton. I've trained mine to play as a forward because as much as he's a brilliant midfielder in real life, he's kind of like a cross between the box to box and the destroyer. He does a bit of everything. The attributes in game, yeah, I'm not that comfortable with his defensive ability in game, so I'll use him as an attacking player. But if you did use him as a centre mid, you'd need to scrimp a couple of points to try and beef that up a bit. You could take a couple off his dribbling for sure. Maybe he's got all the way down. Well, we'll go down to 4 on dribbling. We'll do 4 on dribbling. Nick a couple from passing. Go up to 8 on defending. Needs a bit more dexterity. Yeah. That is roughly what I would do if I made him a centre mid. And as much as I love the guy, I think I've got to be honest. Does he look good? Yeah, quite good. Does he look amazing? No, not amazing. There's some decent attributes there. He's tidy enough on the board. Passing is just about okay. Defending, he's got some good ones, but the awareness and tackling aren't brilliant. A guy as aggressive as he is, with attacking as low as he is, he's going to commit some fouls. Let's be honest. And down on the right, he's got good pace for centre mid, good kicking power. He's strong physically. He's going to be decent in the air. Remember, he's got aerial superiority. Balance is dodgy though. He might feel a little bit awkward at times on the ball. Stamina 93 is great, but yeah, a little bit of a mixed bag as a centre midfielder. I would love to say he looks amazing because I love the guy in real life, but just being brutally honest, I don't really fancy him as a centre mid. I don't think that's the best use of him. If you're going to use him as a more attacking player through the middle, we'll move to more of a kind of number 10 build. So if we forget that defensive work, just take that right down. In fact, I'll take all of those off. We've still got 79 engagement, aggression 85, but we're focusing on the attacking ability now. Got to get that passing up if you're playing him as a kind of number 10. That might be all I do, to be honest. Just get his low pass up to 90. Maybe just go to 88 actually and give him a bit more dribbling. Yeah. Playing with a number 10 again. Is he good? Yeah, he's fairly good. Pretty tidy in the ball, pretty good passing, but you need one touch passing through passing desperately. Attacking awareness is okay. Over on the right, there's pretty good pace, physically strong. I'd like a bit more balance. Stamina's still great. Yeah, could he do a job as a number 10 or attacking mid or SS with no playing style active? Yeah, he could do a job, but like with centre mid, I don't think he's that amazing. I think that's the problem with this guy. It's finding any one position where you can make him a really good card. You can make him a fairly good centre mid, and like you see here, I think you can make him a pretty decent number 10 as well. I'm not sure we found his best position. As a striker, though, we'll give that a go. We've got first time shot already, an aerial superiority, so passing not so important. As a striker, doesn't need to be that good on the ball. We could maybe take even more points off his dribbling, but we'll see where we get. Got to give him some finishing. That's going to be the problem. Doesn't need that much pace as a striker. Let's take all of those off. Lower body. In fact, we'll take all that dribbling off. We'll just give him 1, so his ball control is 80. That gives us 39 points. Can we make him a decent striker? Steve Bruce couldn't. And if Steve Bruce can't, then I'm guessing I can't. Because you all know Steve Bruce is a brilliant manager. Cough, cough. Yeah, I think the answer is pretty obvious. No, you can't make him a good striker. That's basically a 2-star striker. He's rubbish. Let's forget about that. So now we've got wide left. Can we make him a wide left player? Still needs a bit of finishing there. Bit of passing as well. Definitely needs to be better on the ball. Doesn't need quite as much dexterity. We've got 8 on dexterity. Could do with more, to be honest, but we'll just see where we end up. Okay, we're looking okay. Can we make him decent? Get him to 90 for dribbling. That's interesting. 4 left. I'll just beef his pace up. Is he any good as a wide left? I don't know. Again, you got a bit of a mixed bag. Got decent pace, not amazing. Physical contact, you don't really need that as a wide man. You could do with more balance, if anything. Stamina's still good over 90. On the ball, we've made him pretty tidy. The passing for a wide man's decent. Finishing's okay at 76. He does have long range curler, remember. It's not listed here. That's eFootball Hub being an error. He does have long range curler, so yeah. Wide left, decent. He could be decent. I don't think he'd be amazing. I'd like a bit more pace and a little bit more end product, but Yeah, I think ultimately with this guy, like I say, I would love to be, I would love to tell you this is an amazing card, but I think this is one of these cards where it could just be kind of a useful one. I don't think in any particular position he's going to get in many people's teams. He could do a job as a centre mid, he can do a job as a number 10, he could do a job playing wide left, as you can see here. But I think ultimately what I'd be doing with this card, I'll give him a kind of all-round build, give him a bit of everything, and then just have him in the squad as an option. If he's on an up arrow, if you need someone in any particular position, you need to bring someone off the bench when someone's getting tired. There's a bunch of positions he can fill, but yeah, useful as he is, he needs 1 or 2 skills, and ultimately, I don't think he's going to get into many people's teams in any particular position. I don't think it's a particularly amazing card. Now we move on to the more attacking players, starting with Raphinha. So this version of Raphinha is the joint best version we've had. He goes up to the same level at 95 as the previous best, which is one of those. He's in one of those pay-to-win legend boxes. He was one of the other cards. So yeah, it's one of the best versions of Raphinha that we've had, and it's pretty obvious what his qualities are. I'm going to go straight to that game plan boost there, and as you can see, he is great on the ball. He's got great pace, good balance, attack awareness is good. He's got a decent enough lofted pass and finishing, but there's one concern with this guy. Low pass, fully boosted, 68. That is horrible. So that's a big concern. I know a lot of people, especially the dribblers, will say, well, that's fine, you just got to be careful with his passing. Fair enough. If you're one of these players, you just want to get on the ball, you just want to dribble the ball all the way into the net, it might not be a big concern for you. And if you're very careful with him, then you might get away with it. But that, for me, low pass 68, that sucks. So I'm definitely going to try and shuffle some points around. In terms of his skills, before we do that, obviously he's got a bunch of skill moves for the dribblers. If you like his skill moves, you have a lot of fun with this guy. Heel trick and outside curl as well, but again, like with that low pass attribute, where's the end product? That's a big concern for me. Also, he does have scissors paint. It's not listed there. He's got scissors paint in game, but yeah, if you get this guy and you plan to use him regularly, I would really strongly recommend you give him some end product. Long range curler. I think as a left footer, you're going to put him on the right. You could put him on the left. His lofted pass isn't too bad, so if you gave him pinpoint crossing, you could use him on the left, but and he does have outside curler, to be fair, so he can go inside and outside. So he's usable on the left, but I think for most people would probably agree as a left footer, an inverted wing on the right would probably be the most popular way to use this guy. So long range curler for me, I think that's the first skill I'd want to put on him. But with that passing as well being so low, one touch pass and through passing, I think would be very highly recommended by me. You definitely need to help with that passing. So yeah, long range curler, one touch pass, through passing. Those are the 3 skills I'd start with. And in terms of these points and how you'd potentially shuffle them around, what I'd personally do, I'd nick 1 from there, keep the ball control at 90 at least. I would take a bunch off lower body. I wouldn't want too many off dexterity. I'll leave the attacking awareness at 80. That gives us 16 points. Do that. Get his finishing up to 80. We've got 4 points left. We'll stick him back on low body, give him some speed back. Yeah, that would be my build on this guy. So still got really nice pace, pretty good balance, stamina's pretty good, 88. It's quite high actually. And then on the ball, they're still great. Attacking still at 80, but we've got the low pass at least up to the heady heights of 72. The lofted pass at 82 is decent. Like I say, even without pinpoint crossing, his crossing should be okay. I would, if you do cross the ball a lot though, I definitely recommend putting pinpoint crossing on him, even with 82 for lofted pass. For me personally, I like if I've got a player who's going to be putting crosses in, I aim for mid 80s and pinpoint crossing. So certainly with 82, I would want pinpoint crossing on him. And we've got that finishing up to 80 as well, like I say, and the curl's at 83. So if you go this guy long range curler, you could have a really nice long range curler on him. So yeah, I think it's one of these cards where you look at the attributes, especially for those who like to dribble a lot. I think it could be a really fun card to use, could be really effective, but it could come down to the skills. I think long range curler really capitalising his ability to cut inside as an inverted winger and score goals for you. But with that low pass being frankly quite terrible, I would really strongly recommend one touch pass and through passing to try and compensate for that. Even then, you still have to, even if you do that and gave him those skills, you still have to be careful with his low pass. Just don't ask too much from with his passing. But yeah, 1 or 2 asterisks there, like I say, with the low pass and with the need for 1 or 2 skills. But outside of that, it's got qualities. For the dribblers who like these types of winger with pace and ability on the ball and all the skill moves he's got, he could be a really fun card to use. And now we have 2 centre forwards. So we'll start with Pedro. We've got a fox in the box. And we've had a previous version of him that was free. It was when they did that campaign, they gave us a bunch of free Brazilian national team cards, and he was one of them. And this is pretty much the same as that one, to be honest. One or two attributes slightly higher or lower, but essentially it's pretty much the same excuse me, same deal as that card. I'll be honest, it's not a particularly exciting card to me. He does have some qualities. If we had that game plan boost, as you can see, he's slow. That will concern some people, but he's a fox in the box though. He's not going to look to run in behind the defence too much. He'll just kind of loiter around the edge of the box and look to pick up good positions. Pace not too important for that playing style. He has a bit of aerial and physical ability. If we look down the skills, he doesn't have aerial superiority. I have a feeling he had that at one point, or I'm not sure if that was back on Pez. But yeah, personally, I'd probably give him that. Because if you look at the abilities he's not got the pace to be making runs in behind the defence. If he's going to be kind of dropping deep and loitering around here, I think the ability to win headers might be quite important, especially when he's got the attributes to back that up. He's about 6'1". Jumping's not amazing at 80, but physical's decent at 85. So yeah, I would consider giving him aerial superiority. These are the correct skills. There's nothing missing here, and there's nothing here that he doesn't have. He's got heading. He's got acrobatic finishing as well. So yeah, should be decent from crosses, and with aerial superiority, he'll be pretty good. First time shot is an important one. Good thing he's got that. Soul control is a nice bonus. And yeah, he's got qualities, this guy, to be fair. He might be a bit slow, but attacking awareness at 95 fully boosted and then finishing 92, he's clearly got some qualities here as a striker. He's going to be taking up good positions. He's going to be reacting when the ball pops up in the area. He's got good finishing. He can score goals for you. He's got the heading skill, and he's already got 85 for heading. So yeah, he is going to be decent in the air. On the ball, slight concern. I personally like a fox in the box centre forward. I do like that playing style. I use a lone striker for the most part. And I like a fox in the box, and I like to have them come short, pick the ball up, and I kind of play through them and play off them. I like them to be able to take a few touches on the ball. So for me personally, I would like a little bit more on these technicals. It's a question of where you could get the points from. I think you could easily take a couple from shooting and leave that at 90. 90 is the kind of mark that I aim for. Dexterity, I'm going to nick 2 from dexterity. He's not quick anyway. I think you can afford to lose 2 off the acceleration. We'll keep the balance at 80, and we're still on 93 attacking awareness. So now I've freed up 10 points. You could just put 4 on dribbling there. In fact, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go up to 5 on dribbling. I'm going to see there. Can we get the pass? Yeah, we can get the passing up to 70. I think that is what I would do, to be honest. It would be nice if we get a bit more lower body on him. But I don't think pace is so important on the fox in the box. We've got 4 on aerial. There's different ways you could do it. For me personally, he's still got the awareness, the finishing. He's a bit tidier on the ball, but he's got that passing up to 70 as well. Like I say, a fox in the box. If they're not running in behind the defence so much, they will come short, and you could feed the ball into them. Passing on a fox in the box, for me, I think you want at least 70. It's fairly important, in my opinion. So that's probably what I'd do, is a nice kind of all-round build. If you wanted to try and really capitalise on his aerial ability, if you did give him aerial superiority, you could maybe take the passing away. And where would that get you with the aerial? You can get all the way out there to 90 physical contact, 90 heading, 84 jumping. If you want to focus on this guy's aerial ability, give him aerial superiority, train him something like that, that could make him a pretty effective player getting on the end of crosses and bringing long balls down for you. So that's another way you could potentially do it. Or you could just try and make him a little bit quicker, get him over the 70 mark for speed. I don't personally think that's necessarily worthwhile. I mean, even going up to 9 there, you at least get the 70 speed, you get the 90 kicking power. Don't know what else you do, maybe put those points on passing or something. Yeah, there's a few ways you could tweak the way his points are allocated. Personally, I think the way I did it just before was a kind of all-round build, or maybe just like this is pretty similar. I'll do something like that, but yeah, ultimately, you got a few decent skills on him. He does have some qualities, especially with the awareness and the finishing, and you could tweak the way his points are allocated. I do think it's a decent centre-forward card, but I think the fact he's not got more pace, I'm just not sure he's one to get really excited about, to be honest. And most people probably got that free one from those free Brazilian cards that they gave us. So if you've already got that one, if you've still got it, because I think a lot of people released it, then you probably wouldn't really need this guy. But if you don't have it, for some people it could be pretty decent. I just don't think it's one to really get particularly excited about. And we finish up with our other centre forward. We've got Richarlison. So first thing to say with this guy, we've had several better versions of this guy in the past. So it's not the best version we've had by a stretch. And in the previous Brazil pack even, he was in the previous Brazil pack and he went up to 95 in that pack. This one only goes to 93. So this is a bit of a disappointing one right off the bat. And in terms of his attributes as well, he's slow. He's a goal poacher. You need pace on a goal poacher to get behind the fence. That's not great. 76 speed. So yeah, already 1 or 2 reasons to be a bit disappointed with this guy. And then you look over the finishing as well. I'm noticing that 82. Yikes. Yeah. This doesn't look like a great card. Let's hit that game plan boost. So with the maximum boost, well, look at the positives. Attacking awareness goes to 90. Great. On the ball is pretty tidy for a centre forward. Passing is not brilliant. Finishing, like I say, 84 fully boosted. I'd like that to be higher. Heading 84, jumping 91. He does have aerial superiority. So heading, acrobatic finishing, aerial superiority. He's going to be decent from crosses, this guy. He does not have long range curler. It's a bit of a shame, but he does have chip shot control and long range shooting. He's got both those skills in game. So eFootball will have playing up again there. But yeah, decent from crosses. He's also got first time shot. Outside curl's a nice one. Yeah, so he's got some qualities. He's got a pretty good selection of skills. He's going to be decent from crosses. He's decent on the ball. Good attacking awareness. He'll get into good positions. Got to be careful with that finishing though. It's a bit low for me. And that lack of pace in a goal poacher really frustrates me. So could you scrimp some points from elsewhere and maybe get him a bit more pace? How would you do that? They've only put 4 points in his dribbling. Dexterity is the only one they put any real amount of points onto. If we nick a couple from there, that gives us 6 points. If he took all those points off dribbling, what have we got? 10. Where does that get us with his speed? He gets up to 82. If we nick 1 off there, he's still at 90 jumping. That gets us another one on speed. Is that worth doing if he's a goal poacher? In my opinion, yes. As a goal poacher, you don't need to be that good on the ball. He's still 80 plus in all 3 of these technicals. Awareness still 88, and now I got that speed up to 83 at least. He's still not that quick. So it's still a bit frustrating, but I think that's probably a better build on the whole. The acceleration's alright, 85. Kicking power's up to 90. That is good. Jumping still at 90, heading 83. So still decent from crosses with the skills he's got. Good stamina. Yeah, just need a bit more speed, a bit more finishing really for him to be an effective goal poacher in my opinion. So yeah, slightly frustrating. He's 2-footed. That's nice, and he's got outside curler, so he's gonna be comfortable going both ways. Form only standard. Yeah, ultimately, depending how you train him, I would train him like this as a goal poacher, as a centre forward, and he's going to be okay. The pace is okay. The finishing is just about kind of okay, but I would like both the pace and the finishing to be higher. So it's a bit disappointing. You're looking at this as a card that's in a paid pack, and there have been better versions of him previously, so it's a little bit frustrating. But yeah, he does have qualities, and you know he's going to take up good positions. He'll be decent from crosses. He's not a bad card. It's just that I don't think he's as good as he could be. It's the speed and the finishing for me that are a bit disappointing. In terms of his other positions, you can use him out wide as a right footer on the right hand side. He's got no passing ability or crossing ability. I wouldn't even think about him on the right hand side, but certainly wide left as a wide left forward, a kind of inverted winger, cutting in from the left hand side. It's a shame he doesn't have long range curler. I would give him that. If you gave him that, you could maybe give him 1 or 2 passing skills as well, 1 touch pass, through passing. I think regardless, wherever you play him, they would be worth putting on him to improve his passing. But long range curler, especially if you're going to play him on the left as an inverted winger, you don't need quite as much on his finishing, and you don't need quite as much dexterity, but I don't know if I want to lose any acceleration. We'll make him a bit better on the ball there. We'll just get his passing up to 70, and we've got a whopping 1 point left over. Actually, you don't need those 2 on aerial if he's playing out wide, so we've got 4 points. And we'll put the... Do you beef his passing up? We'll just give him a bit more dribbling. Oh, his dribbling's always at 90. Who needs passing? Sod it. We'll give him 90 dribbling. Yeah, wide left, inverted forward. Be very careful with his passing. But that could be a decent build, because the finishing's at 80. It's going to be pretty nice on the ball. But it's still not that much pace. So, yeah. Whichever way you use this guy, centre forward or wide left, could be usable, does have qualities, but 1 or 2 key areas he's a bit lacking. He does need more pace whichever way you use him. The passing sucks wide left, and as a centre forward, needs a bit more pace and needs a bit more finishing. So there's 2 ways you could use him. Could be decent both ways, but for a player that's in a paid pack, especially considering we've had better versions of him previously, ultimately for me it's a bit of a disappointing card on the whole. So there you go, that's the Brazil pack, and that's the last of the 6 packs. Ultimately for me, I said it at the start, it's not about how good the pack is in itself, it's whether it's going to give you good value for how much it costs. It's 900 coins, you get a manager, and it will let you switch between quick counter and long ball. Weird combination. I think for most people, you're just going to look at him as a quick counter manager He's not quite as high rated as Xabi Alonso, so you're not going to get the maximum boost, but you're going to get pretty close to it. So yeah, quick answer on long ball on your manager. I think Marquinhos and Bruno are definitely the best 2 cards in this pack. I think both those cards are fantastic. I think Gabriel from Arsenal is actually a pretty good centre-back. Needs 1 or 2 skills. Raphinha, be careful with his passing. Give him 1 or 2 skills to beef his end product, and he could be a really fun card to use if you like pacey dribblers on the wing. André is actually a pretty solid centre midfielder or defensive midfielder. Again, needs 1 or 2 skills. Richarlison, bit of a disappointing guy. He's got qualities, but he's lacking 1 or 2 areas. Renan Lodi, if he got live update, could be a really useful fullback to pick up. He is good. It's just without live update, I'm not sure how often people would use him, so I'm not sure how much value you would get out of him. Pedro, again, 1 or 2 qualities, but is he a great card on the whole? Not an overly exciting one for me. Joelinton, love him in real life. I'd love to say it's a great card, but I think the only word I could use for this card is useful. There's a bunch of positions you could use him in where he could do a job for you, but he doesn't really excel in any one position. Emerson, again, similar to Renan Lodi. He's a decent fullback. He's not an amazing one. He's got qualities. I think he needs pinpoint crossing, but certainly if you depending how you train him, if you give him pinpoint crossing, could be a useful fullback or wing back. Him and Lodi could both be a good wing back. And then your goalie Bento, prefer the player of the week version. Not a great card. It's not a bad card either, but for one in the paid pack is nothing exciting really. So yeah, there are a few good cards in there. Some of them need 1 or 2 skills to really get the most out of them. But it's up to you how much value that gives you. Personally, I don't find it too exciting of a pack, but some people might quite like it. Like I say, there are a few very decent cards in there. So yeah, there you go. Hopefully I've helped you to make your decision about whether it's a card that's worth you spending coins on it. The other packs, as I mentioned at the start of the video, are live on the channel. So all the 4 national team packs, we've got Argentina and France with the legend cards in them, and then we've got England, Portugal, Brazil here, and Turkey. All those reviews live on the channel now if you want to check the other ones out. And there'll be 1 or 2 more pack videos coming up, because there's even more that I still need to review. So 1 or 2 more videos coming out, so keep your eyes on the channel. But thank you for watching as always. I really appreciate it. Hopefully this has been useful for you, and I will see you again soon.